first off, nice shirt.
Hey, thanks.
I love it.
Papa Roach.
Oh, one of the last times I saw you guys, you were on tour with Papa Roach. So you guys have obviously played some shows together with them, and man, talk about a band just completely just reinventing themselves over the years, dude. That band is so good.
No kidding. No kidding. And they're such sweet guys too.
That's what I've
Like,
heard. I've met
yeah,
Tobin, so
Tobin's awesome. I mean, we met our first time playing with them. It's kind of a smaller club. Like, I don't think there was 1,000 people there. This was like way before we were signed. And even that day, like, we're the local band on. I think Jacoby got Johnny's number and they kind of stayed in touch. So that and stuff like that never happens, for someone of that caliber. But man, it's so cool to see where they are now. Like uh after all these years,
yeah.
sticking it out and probably as big or bigger than they've ever been, I imagine. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know how big they were like, in the MTV days, but probably pretty huge.
Well, let's talk about you guys, man, because this new album, holy shit,
Man,
Carnal. First off, the album title is absolutely perfect for what this album is. You guys nailed it. You hit it on the head with this album title, but I feel like every album you guys do has a different sound, a different feel. Just every album feels different. It's always a Nothing More album. There's always those foundations that you can tell it is
yeah.
you guys, but this record feels very different than what you guys have done in the past.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I mean, definitely, you go into every record and when you're going to write it, it's kind of a funny thing because you really don't know what's going to happen in that A to B. You show up, try to invent some music, and then what comes out is what comes out. So we're looking back on Carnal, we're super pumped about all the songs that
Hmm.
we ended up with, and and this album's been a big change for us because everything anyone's heard previous to this record has been a self-produced albums, where we kind of take it upon ourselves with our manager also, and track all the drums in a real studio and then take everything else to our home studios and finish it there. But this one we wanted to try going with a real big time producer, so that was kind of scary. But you know the working with Drew Folk was the producer, aka Wizard Blood. And man, from day one, we are just same page, similar upbringings, like similar vision for music and rock and roll. And, I don't feel like any of the things we were afraid of happening, like happened at all. If anything, it was the opposite. Like, I think we want him a part of every record. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude, it really, there's every song on this song could be, every song on the record could be a single, like easily. Like, and the
Man,
three you
thanks.
guys, yeah, man, the three you guys have out are destroying the charts right now. You got two on the Biggins countdown right now, just with two alone. But this is also the first time you guys have collaborated with other singers and other artists for songs on your records so
Hmm.
far. You guys haven't really done that before. What made you guys decide to bring in Eric and David for the songs that you brought them in on? Because for one, those songs kick ass. Like, holy shit. Like Angel song, oh my God. Like,
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Collabs are something we've always kind of shot for, and they just really haven't happened very much. I think those stories we tell ourselves. We got Jacoby on "Don't Stop," and that's really like,
oh,
we got Lacey Sternum also on
oh, I forgot about that.
"Best Times." There've been some little things, but we've never had multiples on one record.
Hmm.
So, yeah, this record we got Dave Draymond from Disturbed, Eric from I Prevail, and then Chris Daughtry is doing. He's on the track Free Fall, and then kind of a rap. I think his genre is called funk. His name's Sinister.
Yeah.
There's a song. Yeah, there's a song called Stuck, that I'm in love with. It's my favorite like pump up jam on the record. But yeah, he takes the second verse and bridge, and he really took the song over the top. So
Mhm.
we just finished shooting a music video for that song with him this
Nice.
last Monday out in LA. But yeah, it was kind of fate. Like we had last summer we were in Europe for all the festivals, and we ran across. We played a couple shows with Disturbed and I Prevail. Like I Prevail was doing more shows with them. We got to hop on too, and it was cool reconnecting with Disturbed because we had toured with them previously, so we know those guys.
Mhm.
And this is our first time really getting to like break bread with I Prevail. And they even had a day off. I think we were in Cologne, something like that. And a lot of the guys came out and watched our show. So
Nice.
cool stuff. And we're just becoming friends. And so at the end of that tour, I think it was the last date, we were both playing Knotfest in Italy, and that was when we gave Eric all the tracks, and we're like, does one jump out at you? We'd love to work with you on one of these. And he chose House on Sand, and I thought it was perfect. So very
Yeah.
cool. Very
It's
grateful for him.
so, man, that song is so, you guys don't let up on that song. It's just like
Yeah.
straight adrenaline. I can't listen to it on the interstate on my way to work because I go way too fucking fast while I'm driving. I'm like, holy crap. You guys
Nice.
just, you've just fucking nailed it, man. Um, but the
Well, thank you, man.
transition tracks really stand out to me too. Head, heart, sight, sound. It's a really interesting approach, and I feel like it almost like ushers in different chapters of the record the way they're placed
Hmm.
in there. Was that the point of doing those and putting those where you did, like different parts, different chapters of the record? It's just a really cool approach that you guys did that on this.
Yeah. No, thanks, man. I don't. We put them where we just it kind of felt like the energy of the album it would work. I'm gonna have to listen through again though and hear. It's funny how things work out like that. Like now that you've mentioned it, I probably will hear what you're saying, that it is like a different chapter. But
It is.
um, yeah, it was cool. Especially with these, we got the famous philosopher Alan Watts. We've been using him on the last several records for just we're all huge fans of his. So it's been cool adding kind of some of his philosophical stuff to those instrumentals, and a lot of them just really lined up well with like the meaning of the next song, even lyrically, like similar words, and and stuff like that's always kind of coincidence, and you kind of know you're doing something right when things like that
Right.
start manifesting. So um, yeah, we're super pumped about every part, even the instrumentals. So
I love how that always that tends to be the case more often than not, where fans or people are like, oh, there's this huge, deep, like huge plan, and people are like, nah, it just seemed cool. Like we just liked the way it just seemed right. It felt right. And it's,
right,
I
yeah.
just love how that happens.
Let's hope it lines up perfectly with Top Gun or something like that. Like the Dark Side of the Moon record and Wizard of Oz. Wouldn't that
Right.
be a cool coincidence?
WWE used If It Doesn't Hurt as part of WrestleMania. And after Cody Rhodes won the WWE championship, he said that If It Doesn't Hurt is one of his favorite songs of all time. How does that make you? Are you guys wrestling fans? Does that excite you guys when you hear stuff like that?
I think all of us were old school wrestling fans. None of us have really kept up with it currently, but it was kind of hilarious. Like the day that it happened, I think all of us got texts from different people, and they were just like, "Hey, holy shit! I just heard, you're all over the WWE right now." Like they played nearly the whole song, on this highlight clip, and it's like, what? Like we hadn't even heard about it. So
Oh, wow.
our our manager had apparently, but he had no idea that it was actually happening. They had asked if it was okay. He gave permission, but then that was the end of it, and then it just
Huh.
happened. So
So
yeah,
you didn't know where it was going to pop up at. You just like kind of had a feeling like they're probably going to use it somewhere. Like, you know,
yeah, or they may not. So yeah, we none of us had our ear to the ground for it at all. It was a super rad surprise. So
it's always, I just love how they give so many like, I don't even want to call you guys a newer band because you're not, but so many like exploding bands that aren't necessarily like 30, 40-year-old bands, like a platform where their music is heard by so many more people. And they focus on bands like you guys and I Prevail and Motionless in White. So like the new generation of rock and roll, like they really make an effort to focus on you guys, which is really cool.
yeah, that is really cool to hear, because every time I hear like Thunderstruck in a movie again, it's like, come on, let's.
It never gets old.
There's a lot of us still making music, I mean, it's hard to beat an AC/DC track, but I hear you, dude. So it's cool that there's still some people out there like that for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Is it hard to believe that it's been 10 years since you guys really, you started popping up on everybody's radar really about 10 years ago at this time, when This Is the Time hit Octane and hit the radio, which you guys were not new by any stretch of the imagination. You guys had been around for a minute and doing your thing, but I feel like about
Hmm.
10 years ago at this time is where things really started to elevate and go to another level for you guys. Is it hard to believe that it's been 10 years? Because for me, it feels like it was just like a year or two ago that, that you guys really exploded onto the scene, but it's been 10 years.
I know. It's strange. It is strange to me. Like, because I do still feel like we're definitely not a baby band by any means, but we're not a legacy artist, or I don't know. It's
Yeah.
strange. And yeah, having, I we were like 9 years in the underground before getting signed. And looking back at that, it's like, wow, like I can't believe we gave it that much time with just broke as could be, putting everything into the band. And thank God we did, I don't regret a minute of it. But yeah, to look back on, half or more of my life now, just being with these guys, rocking stage left every night in this band. It's wild,
Hmm.
and I'm very grateful that I don't know, like I feel like this band never got a lot of lucky breaks, like it because it took us so long to get there and figure it all out. But the lucky break we did find was just finding each other,
Hmm.
and the hardest thing I think is to keep it, personal aspect of a band. I feel like just breaks up a lot of great artists and a lot of great projects. So um, yeah, I'm just, it's cool to have friends that I got to share this with my entire life, and our relationship never changed that much to where we hated each other or didn't want to do it together. So I'm very blessed in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time in rock right now, where so many bands who are just like you, not legacy bands, but also not baby bands either, are really starting to just catch fire like you guys
Hmm.
did 10 years ago. And every record since that self-title record for you guys has taken you to another level, where now you guys are just on fire and just scorching everything. But there's so many bands, like Wage War and I Prevail and
Hmm.
From Ashes to New, that like it's almost like a renaissance of rock and roll right now. How exciting is it for you guys to be part of this time in rock music? Because it wasn't this way 10, 12 years ago. Really, it really
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, I think back 5 years even, or even like 3 years. And I just don't think there was as much awesome stuff happening at the same time. Maybe, I'm not one to pay attention to every single thing that comes out,
And
but
you
I
can't.
mean, yeah, you can. But like you're saying, there's just a lot that's kicking ass right now, and even the younger bands, like I discovered this UK band Tiger Cub recently, and they're like, they're phenomenal. Like I think they're on their second record, and um, I don't know. I'm super pumped for their future. We just played with another group, Dead Poet Society. I think they've been together for a bit, but they just released
Hmm.
a record that I think is going to put them really, really put them on the map. Like it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, like it. I love that, you know, a lot of times, like when you go to those epic bands on your playlist, you know, it's like Muse or, you know, just the big dogs. But now I feel like, you know, the small dogs are just writing just as good a material, just as unique a sound, and just set, you know, trailblazing and setting the world on fire. So it's a really cool time for rock and roll right now.
Yeah, it's man, like there used to be a time where like I would look at my email inbox and like eh, I recognize some bands and nothing really. Now it's like I almost have to listen to everything that comes through my inbox because everything is good. Like you said, so many bands putting
Hmm.
out such good material and music. Like it's exciting. But let's get back to Carnal because two songs that stand out to me are Down the River and Free Fall, two
Yeah.
very different songs. But man, like it just shows that's a perfect example of this album is so diverse. Every song can be a single. Um, what were you guys really wanting to accomplish when it came to this record? You know, I mean, obviously do something different and fresh, but man, you guys hit that out of the park.
Yeah. You know, the mindset going into this record was really just trying to focus on like bringing as much energy, like the energy songs in. You know, like Spirits went kind of everywhere. There's heavy stuff, like there's
Mhm.
energy, there's like crazy ambient stuff, you know, like heady lyrics, like more conceptual. This one
Mhm.
we more wanted that like fastball down the middle, you know, like the song doesn't let up the entire time. Like the riff's huge, gettable, uh, you know, not necessarily super simple, but yeah, like just something people can like really grab onto. And
Mhm.
uh yeah, that was the mindset going in. And it is interesting, like the even with that mindset, the variety of songs that we came out with, I'm really proud of. Like Down the River, like that was, I think that was the first song that you know, we released Spirits, and then pretty much almost immediately after we started cranking, writing new songs. And I remember that day in the studio, we're like, for whatever reason, we were in Nashville, and uh, we had Jolene, the Dolly Parton song, on our mind. You know, and it's like, what if we push in that direction? Like, what would that sound like? And
Hmm.
obviously, Down the River sounds nothing like Jolene. If anything, it inspired more of an acoustic direction. But but we've never done a song like that where it's quote unquote an acoustic song, but it's not a, I don't know. It still has all the elements of a big emotional
Mhm.
song. You know, like that bridge gets real big, real emotional, and uh, yeah, I don't know. Just cool stuff like that was happening all the time.
Yeah.
Where, you know, usually you pick up an acoustic guitar and you end up playing, you know, just something very singer songwritery. But um, I thought that turned out real well. And yeah, Free Fall, same thing. You know, that song was just purely written in the studio too. We're sitting there, and I can't remember if Mark just kind of had this slightly like Foo Fightery sounding, you know, riff, uh, and we're all like, "That's cool. Like, let's just go on that for a minute." And you know, by the end of the day, we had that chorus and a totally different verse, but yeah, it was like there's something real here. So there were a lot of sessions like that for sure. You know, um, and to me, that's always indicative of something good. You know, it
Yeah.
we were known for being willing and able to like go back and write and rewrite songs, you know, 100 times to get them where they need to be. Like you absolutely have to be able to do that uh to get out something truly good. But when it just flows out of you, it I think those songs are the best. So
Yeah.
kind of like, I think, you know, Stairway to Heaven, I think supposedly was written in like 15 minutes or something like that.
Oh
But
my God.
um who knows? But it's
Right.
that kind of feeling though, like the your initial inspiration towards it just makes it right there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I just love how, you know, one like there's just moments of like extreme, like animalistic, just energy on this record. And then at just the right time, you slow it down and just we're vibing, and then oh, you kick us in the ass with more just extreme energy. Like it's a journey that you take us on during this record, and like
Yeah.
you can't sleep on this record because like the second you do, you're gonna miss something.
Yeah.
You
That's
guys
cool.
killed it with this, man. Um, what's the rest of, I mean, the record comes out on the 28th. So, I mean, you guys already did one huge tour with Wage War. So, what's the
Yeah.
rest of the year look like now that the record's coming out? I know you got some festivals coming up still.
Yeah, I got some festivals coming up. We're looking for like a lot of support opportunities for the summer. Nothing really came around, so we're enjoying a little downtime.
Well
Yeah,
deserved.
record will be out later this month, and then we have a big fall headliner planned. And I have a feeling once the record drops, everything's gonna kind of open up, and we're gonna start getting a lot more busy. So um, that's the plan, is just to tour as much as we can. Hopefully get some good support stuff. You're definitely going over to Europe again next summer for all the festivals, which is a total blast. If you ever get to go to like Hellfest in France,
Oh, I want
or
to so
you know
bad.
Grass Pop, things like that, they're
Yes.
different than the festivals here. They're rad. So super stoked
Those
to do that. But
those are bucket list things for me, whether it be Download or Vakken or Hellfest or Pink Pop, or I just want to go
yeah,
to one European festival before I die. Just one.
yeah,
Like
yeah. There's
just
so many
one.
of them too.
I know.
It's crazy.
But the American festivals are turning into the European festivals almost, with the 4 day festivals and the,
Yeah,
good God, just when you didn't think DWP could get any bigger or go any further. I mean, Jesus Christ, they
yeah.
like,
It's
man,
cool.
they're,
It's cool to see for sure.
yes.
Because I mean,
Um,
you go to Europe, and it's like every big band in the world is in Europe at that time. Like all of them, like
yeah.
from spanning like 50 years.
It's
And we just
crazy
don't quite have it here. But they're good. Yeah,
when you see a band like Motley Crue on like the closing spot on like a second stage because the festival is so big. It's like,
right.
the
Yeah,
hell are we doing, guys? Like, come on.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Who's on the big
man,
stage? Jesus Christ, or the president?
and
I don't know.
congrats on one hell of an album. This could very easily be my favorite Nothing More record. I mean, you guys, there's not a sleeper song on this record. There's no filler. This is just from start to finish, just good. It's just
Yeah,
really fucking good. You guys killed it, man. Congrats on a great record. And thank you for continuing to do what you do and to give us the music that you give us, man. I feel like you guys get told that a lot, but you can never get told that enough. Thank you for just continuing to do what you do.
yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate it. We'll no plans on stopping right now. So yeah,
Thank you for that
we'll
too.
yeah, hopefully we'll have another 20 years of this. So that's what I'm planning on.
I love it, man. Enjoy the record release, the album cycle, the album tour, the promotion, man. Get some rest while you still can because we need you out
Yeah.
on the road, bringing the music to the masses. We'll see you on the road here soon, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Hell yeah, dude. Take it easy.